Okay, so let's say you're struggling with motivation. You're struggling to get any work done, or you're struggling to find the motivation to get up early in the morning, or you just can't find the motivation to go to the gym and start living a healthier life. In this video, I'm going to strip the problem right back to the bones. These are the 7 fundamental steps to living a more motivated life, a happier life. They're the foundation blocks that you need to build first before you start implementing any kind of advanced study strategies or advanced productivity hacks. 7 steps, that's all it takes, so let's go through them. And before we start, really quickly, I've just upgraded the workbook in the Transform Your Grades course and added 2 mini courses as bonuses, both about 1 hour 20 minutes of lectures. I'm always working on improving the course to make it everything you need in one place to level up your grades, so you don't have to go from YouTube video to YouTube video, and it's a lot more engaging as well with exercises, workbooks, productivity planners, quizzes, that kind of thing. There's a link in the description below. Step 1. Create systems. Motivation ebbs and flows. That's completely normal. Even with me, some days I feel super motivated, other days I don't feel as motivated, but my productivity each day stays pretty much the same. That's because I've created systems in my life that make it a lot easier to be productive. So for example, as soon as I wake up, literally the first thing I do is I walk to my desk and I get 1 to 2 hours of work done. It will usually be the most important task that I need to get done that day. And because it's so early in the morning, there are fewer distractions because most people are still sleeping. But anyway, I won't talk about it too much because I made an entire video on it, how waking up at 4:45 a.m. doubled my productivity. You can click on the pop-up banner above to watch it. So it's important that you create systems in your life that will encourage you and assist you in becoming more motivated. If you want to start working out more, then join a gym or find a workout buddy and make it part of your daily schedule. If you want to spend more time studying, then schedule a time in the evening or night time when you would normally spend relaxing, and aim to get 1 hour of studying done at that time every day. Setting up these kinds of structures in your life will help you avoid those times when you think to yourself, I should start doing this or I should start doing that. These structures are super important, so in my opinion at least, everyone should have them built into their daily schedule. Step 2. Learn something new. So there's one thing that I always notice when talking with someone who is particularly successful in their field. They're always extremely knowledgeable in the field that they're successful in, right? So whatever you want to be successful in, it's important that you're continuously learning and becoming more knowledgeable in that field. And I like this idea of learning just one thing a day. And I've kind of set up my schedule so that it becomes a lot easier. So for example, I listen to an app called Shortform for 20 minutes every morning when I shower. And Shortform is basically a book summary app, so you can learn the key points from a book in just 20 minutes in text or audio form. And doing this every day, every morning, that knowledge soon builds up over a period of 6 months or so. There's a link in the description for the Shortform app if you do want to check it out. I really do recommend it, because at the end of the day, we're all products of our environment, right? We are what we watch, we are what we listen to, we are what we think about all day. So you need to program your mind, and you do that by the content that you consume. So instead of listening to music on your commute, try listening to podcasts or listening to audiobooks on subjects that are in line with the life that you want to create. And if you remove that 2 hours of wasted time binge watching pointless videos on YouTube, and instead you replace it with 2 hours of content consumption in a subject that will actually benefit you down the line, a subject that you want to be an expert in, a subject that you can build a career around, within 3 or 4 years, you can very realistically be in the top 10% of your industry. Step 3. Set goals. I'm a massive goal setter. Every single day I have goals that I'm striving for, whether it's short-term goals that I need to achieve within 24 hours or long-term goals that I need to achieve in 5 years. So I had one main goal at university, and that was to achieve a first-class honours degree, equivalent to a 4.0 GPA, A+, whatever. So I had other sub-goals, but that was my main goal that I prioritized above everything else. So I'd be constantly reviewing and asking myself, is the studying that I'm doing, is it on the level of a 4.0 GPA? So if I continue to study like this, will I graduate with a 4.0 GPA? Because if the answer to that question is no, then I'd have to change something drastically so that I am studying in line with my goals. And I talk quite a lot about goal setting on this channel, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it's absolutely fundamental when it comes to motivation, so I just couldn't miss it out. Step 4. exercise. So exercise played a massive role in the transformation I made in my own life 7 or so years ago. I feel a lot better about myself now, more confident, more happy, more motivated, because it's something that I never used to do at high school, but I started doing it at university and it has had such a massive positive impact on my life. So back at high school, what I didn't realize is that exercising doesn't have to be boring. There are so many different ways to move, to work out, to burn calories. And when I was younger, I wish I knew that if I chose a sport that I enjoyed, then it wouldn't feel like exercise. So pick something, do it regularly, become awesome at it, and it'll change your life, trust me. Step 5, sleep schedule. Now, this is another fundamental necessity if you're aiming to give yourself a long-term motivation boost. I'm coaching quite a few students one-on-one in the Transform Your Grades course, and one of the first things I ask is, what is your sleep schedule? What time are you sleeping? What time are you waking up? Are you eating healthily? Do you enjoy your studying? That kind of thing, right? The fundamentals. Because your sleep schedule is so incredibly important. You really need to be sleeping the same time every day and waking up at the same time every day. And if you start doing that, you'll feel far more motivated and productive throughout the day. It's something so basic, right? So simple, but it has a massive effect on your motivation and just your overall happiness, because a lot of being unmotivated is linked with your energy levels, right? So the more tired and lethargic you are throughout the day, of course it's going to bring your level of motivation down with it. So by fixing that one issue, waking up and sleeping at the same time every day so your body clock is in sync, naturally your motivation will increase with it. Step 6, healthy eating. So this is another often overlooked foundational element that you need to get right before you really start working on anything else. It's something that many people struggle to see the link between healthy eating and motivation, which, to be honest, is completely understandable. However, a study featured in the February 2011 edition of the Journal of School Health looked at the correlation between drinking sugar-laden soda on a regular basis and academic performance among students in the US. And so the study found that when the students limited their soda intake, their academic performance increased significantly. It concluded that eating and drinking healthily had a positive impact on academic performance among students. And as a side note, in addition to dietary changes, the study also included an increase in physical activity among the students, finding that eating healthily and regular exercise was the most effective combination to improve academic performance. Step 7, course correction. So you should be regularly making very small incremental changes to the way you live your life, whether it's slight changes to your schedule or adjusting your sleeping pattern slightly by waking up 15 minutes earlier or going to sleep 15 minutes earlier. And that idea of these kind of small course corrections is to not make a sudden change to your motivation or to your productivity, but we're aiming to make tiny incremental improvements, but making those improvements every single day. So it's a good idea every night, just before you're going to bed, to review how motivated you were that day or how productive you were that day. You review what went well and what didn't go so well, or maybe you got a lot of work done that day. And then you ask yourself, okay, so let's say you had a good day today. So why did you have a really good day? What happened that day that made you motivated? Maybe you woke up earlier and started working really early in the morning, or maybe you put your phone in another room when you were studying so you didn't get distracted. Because by figuring out what works for you, the next day you can then keep doing those things, and the things that you're doing that are making you unproductive, you can learn from them and make a point of not doing them the next day. So let me give you an example. At high school, I struggled to even sit at my desk to study for 15 minutes because I would get distracted so easily. I mean, there were so many other things I'd rather be doing, like playing video games, going out with friends, watching YouTube videos. I'm sure we all know that feeling, right? But at the end of the day, when I reviewed how productive I was or how unproductive I was, I would notice that almost all my distractions came from my phone. I realized that if I had my phone next to me when I was studying, I would get distracted far faster than if I didn't have my phone there. So I made one very small change. I put my phone behind my laptop so I couldn't see it. So if I didn't have it in my line of sight, then I would be less likely to reach out and start procrastinating. And that's just one example of a very small change that I made that made a massive difference to my overall productivity. And if you're still struggling with motivation and you're trying your best to get out of a kind of unproductive rut that you're stuck in, I made a video on why it's so hard to sit down and study when you're feeling unmotivated. You can click on the video on the screen. Alternatively, I made another video on how I stay productive even when I'm feeling unmotivated. There's some, I guess, more advanced motivational tips in that video. I really hope I'm helping you by making this kind of content, and whichever video you choose, I'll see you over there.